Hey fantastic people, welcome back to F1ntastic Gaming. And before we start, I just want to say, unfortunately, my mic quality wasn't great, and I don't know why. I think it might be something to do with the screen recorder. But yeah, we have a very unique video today. Right now this is me when I'm editing the video, but now I'm gonna switch to the live commentary. I'm gonna be looking back at the very first post I posted on this blog. So yeah, it's been 21 months since I posted this. The first look, I'm talking about two things here. Weird title, I'm not gonna lie. I was proud of that title, but just not a good title. But yeah, I can come up with much better titles today. But yeah, if you're watching this on the blog, this video will be embedded in the blog post, because I am celebrating 100 posts on the blog. So yeah, in the 21 months that this blog has existed, I have posted 100 blog posts, and it feels so good that I managed to come so far with this blog. It was initially just a hobby, and it pretty much still is, but it's grown into something. Really happy about that and really proud of that. But yeah, now I felt like this was the perfect time to go back and look at this very first post, posted on June 5th 2020. So yeah, it's been a while. This was about the Vietnamese, I think this was about the reveal of the Hanoi Street Circuit in the F1 2020 game. So yeah, this was, I think, was it my only post in the Vietnamese Grand Prix? I think this was, yeah, this was my only ever post. This was the only post I ever posted about the Vietnamese Grand Prix, because there was literally nothing happened after that, except that, you know, because of COVID it got cancelled. But you know, we never saw it. We never actually saw it happen. We never actually saw the F1 cars racing around the circuit. Although we did have it in the F1 2020 game, simply because it was supposed to be there. F1 was supposed to race there in 2020, but yeah, apart from that, that was it. And you can see this cover. It's just a screenshot from the reveal video where it shows the track map that they've shown in the game. But yeah, I actually embedded the reveal video into this post, but it didn't work. So because of FOM and all their copyright, they always try to protect their content a lot. So yeah, the video wasn't working, so I just removed the embed. There was no point. But yeah, since I was talking about the F1 2020 game, I literally put a picture of the cover of the game cover. So yeah, it wasn't actually really needed, but you know, my first blog post, I was just learning along the way. I've been learning. It took me 100 posts to learn so much stuff. So yeah, you always learn with experience. That's just how it works. But to be honest, the start of the post is pretty good. A week ago, the official Formula 1 YouTube channel posted a video giving all us F1 fans, the first look at the Hanoi Street Circuit on an early build of the Codemasters F1 2020 video game, which is set to be released to the public on the 10th of July this year. Okay, that is a really long sentence. The Vietnam Grand Prix was set to take place on the 5th of April 2020, but due to the current situation, we can only experience the race in the virtual world when the game comes out. Yeah, that was a nice sentence, but this was really long. Yeah, the same thing goes for the Dutch Grand Prix, which is set to take place on the 3rd of May 2020. Some YouTubers who were part of the press got the video showcasing the Hanoi Street Circuit on the F1 game directly from Codemasters, who provided early builds of the game to the same members of the press. I should have said to the same content creators, that made more sense. But yeah, this first paragraph was relatively good, except for that first sentence. To know more about the build, stay on the lookout for upcoming posts. There will be one post explaining in detail what is available on that build. Yeah, I never made that post. Yeah, stay on the lookout. I still use that phrase, stay on the lookout for upcoming posts. But yeah, I never did make that post. And here, picture of the cover. And see, this links back to the weird title, because this post is also your chance to get a first look at this blog. Yeah, right now you're reading the very first post written on F1ntastic. So yeah, I'm back here in March 2022 reading the very first post on the blog. It's surreal, it's crazy, but yeah, it's a great throwback looking back at this post. If you take a look at the title again, you'll see what I was talking about. Fair play, I actually linked back to the title pretty well, even though it wasn't the greatest title. But yeah, and we have this really nice image here with a bunch of info about the circuit. This circuit could have actually been really cool, but obviously we didn't get a look at that. That is a huge paragraph. Wow, okay. Let's get into a bit. Yeah, that I did. Oh god, this post has some huge paragraphs. And then there's just like these tiny ones here. But yeah, these two paragraphs. How many words would that be? Probably like 200 words in this one paragraph. 200, 250 words. I don't know, it's a lot of words. But yeah, let's get into a bit more detail about the latest addition to the list of F1 tracks and just overall how the gamers and hopefully in the near future drivers are going to tackle the streets of the capital of Vietnam. Okay, that is a very confusing sentence. Not very, but I understood it because I wrote it. But yeah, it was a confusing sentence there. Designed by circuit architect Herman Tilke, the circuit is 5.613 kilometers long, 2D whopping, making the straight the second longest straight on the F1 calendar. With the kink, straights are ranked by the length of the track in a straight line. However, the back straight in Hanoi has a long kink in the middle and a few very small bends at the start of the straight. What? That is a long sentence. Okay. Designed by circuit architect Herman Tilke. Look, it just keeps going with commas and commas and commas and commas and a semicolon here. Wow. Yeah, no, I could split that up into like 3 or 4 sentences. Or more. That is a really long sentence. But yeah, and 2 DR straights with, probably should have written with the back straight being a whopping 1.5 kilometers long, making the straight the second longest straight on the F1 calendar with a kink. Straights are ranked by the length of the track in a straight line. However, the back straight in Hanoi has a long kink in the middle, long curve in the middle. I think that would be better, and a few very small bends at the start of the straight. The back straight without the kink is 800 meters long, still a really long straight. The Vietnamese Grand Prix would have run for 55 laps, was set to take place on the 5th of April 2020, but was postponed along with the Bahrain Grand Prix on the 13th of March 2020. The very same day the Australian Grand Prix was cancelled after McLaren announced their withdrawal from the event due to a team member testing positive for coronavirus. Wow, another huge sentence. Yeah, no wonder this paragraph is massive. The YouTube video showing gameplay of the Hanoi street circuit proves a lot of people's thoughts about the corners wrong. For example, both the roundabout sections are actually really slow, whereas a lot of people thought that they would be more flowing and smooth. Some people thought that they could compare turn 3 in Sochi to turns 1 to 9 in Hanoi. In terms of the flow, I probably meant to write in terms of the flow and the smoothness of the corner. The fact that the circuit is a street circuit and the track is incredibly narrow won't allow gamers and drivers to keep their foot on the throttle as much as they expected. How long is this sentence? Okay, not too long, not insanely long, but yeah, this was pretty much what I thought. I don't know if other people thought about this, but I definitely thought that this was gonna be a really long and flowing corner, but it was actually like really tricky and tight. I have made gameplay videos on the Hanoi Street Circuit in the F1 2020 game, so be sure to go check those out. But yeah, that definitely it was very interesting circuit, and it definitely the game helped visualize what it would look like in Formula 1 in real life. Fun fact, the Hanoi Street Circuit is the 8th longest track on the current F1 calendar, Monza being the 7th longest and Yas Marina being the 9th longest. Okay, that's not really a necessary fact. It's the 8th longest track. Because it is quite long, 5.6 kilometers, but 8th longest. And also that kind of, I'm pretty sure that looks like a heading. I thought, before I read this fun fact, I thought that there was a heading. But yeah, below the paragraph about F1ntastic is an image of the final track layout. I could literally have just written, above is an image of the final track layout. But yeah, I was a bit too specific there, and it's a bit confusing. The original track layout had the last 3 corners more smoother. The run from, oh yeah, I discovered this while writing it. It was so confusing because I saw different track layouts. Some had this layout, some had this one. So then I actually did some research and I actually figured out, oh, they changed the layout. So yeah, it's a good thing I noticed that. I was like writing this post and I suddenly noticed that there has been a change. There's something wrong. So yeah, then I figured that out, that there was a change. And oh, I remember this sentence. Yeah, I remember like this part being kind of complicated to understand. And turn 22 is much less sharper, which made the final corner more sharper and more like the current turn 22. Oh yeah, that is true. Look at the current turn 22. and the previous turn 23, they're pretty similar. So yeah, I think that's a good change, because this change, like this layout, would have kind of made it wouldn't have made it great for racing, because when you're coming out of the exit of this corner, of this final corner, and if you got a bad exit, which was highly likely thanks to dirty air, then it would have kind of killed the racing and killed the overtaking opportunity down to turn 1, because the straight isn't really long. So yeah, that's a good change they made. I think it made it better for racing, although it made turn 23 really tricky because it's a really tight corner and also dirty air. So yeah, that was a really interesting thing to see. This is actually, I like this paragraph. I'm not gonna lie. It was good analysis. It was good because it linked to the things like other YouTube videos and YouTube videos by content creators, and it kind of gave you insight into what this track would be like in real life and in the game. So yeah, it was. I feel like it was pretty good. I mean, obviously it has room for improvement, but considering it was my very first blog post, yeah, I think it was nice, and it gave some good insight. And although I would have split it into two paragraphs and maybe like elaborated a bit more into what I was talking about and how that would link to what it would be like in real life. But yeah, apart from that, this was good. It worked out well. This paragraph, huge paragraph though, really thick. But yeah, moving on from that paragraph. An incredibly interesting and enjoyable aspect of the Hanoi Street Circuit and Herman Tilke's designing is the fact that there are many corners in this track that are based on corners from other tracks. So yeah, this is true. This is actually true. This track is kind of, I feel like Herman Tilke was aiming to make like a super track with this circuit, and he mixed in corners from a bunch of other tracks. Although this is like a gallery and the images are not really good in this gallery, so I would have probably made it into a collage with high resolution images. But again, first post, so I'm not surprised that it was not that good. But yeah, it's good that I managed to find this information and find images showing which turns which circuits the Hanoi Street Circuit is based on. And so I made a small little paragraph about that. And then to conclude this post, I just wanted to say thank you for reading the first official post on F1ntastic, and I hope you learned something today. Yeah, I hope you learned something today. Eesh, not really a good ending. Please take into consideration how much time and effort has gone into designing and making this track, and how tough it would have been to include the track in the F1 game, especially since it is completely new. Oh, typing error there. Be sure to keep on the lookout for upcoming posts. Hope you enjoyed this one. I use stay on the lookout for upcoming posts. But yeah, that was a good post considering it was my first one. Considering it's the first blog post I ever wrote, it was pretty nice. And yeah, please take into consideration how much time and effort has gone into designing and making this track. That's a nice touch. That's a nice touch to talk about the effort that's gone into this track. But yeah, that technically that kind of effort goes into every track, doesn't it? But yeah, and also one thing about this paragraph which is pretty insightful. It took me like a week to write this post, and it took me a lot of research. I mean, this post overall was pretty well researched, but it took me a long while to research it and make it into a good post, or a readable post, let's say. But yeah, not it reminds me of the journey that it has taken to get to make 100 posts. I mean, if I look at it, I could probably make a post better than this about the same topic in like 3 hours in like 3 hours or so. So yeah, it's things have changed a lot, and it's surreal looking back at how things have changed so much over the past 21 months, and how I've just kept this going really. So yeah, I'm really happy about that, and yeah, let's just take F1ntastic to the next level now. Here's to 100 more posts. See you in the next video. This is F1ntastic Gaming, and yeah, be sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the video. Be sure to read my latest posts so that you can see the difference that 100 posts has made in my writing.